Be me trapped in this flesh. Once held a violin, now hold burgers. Fingers used to dance, now they fumble. The camera lens stares like an eye. Thousands of ants watching me slowly die. They click, they comment, they consume me. I feed them my dignity for views. Greasy sauce drips down my multiple chins. Heart hammers against ribs like trapped bird. Breathing is a heavy, wet, rattling labor. Wake up gasping for air every night. The machine needs fuel to keep running. Stuffing face until stomach threatens to burst. Skin stretches tight over expanding yellow fat. Angry red stretch marks map my failure. Mirror shows a stranger eating my life. The internet laughs at the crying clown. I scream at the lens, spit flying. Artificial rage covers the real, quiet pain. Bank account grows as my body rots. Swapping health for digital numbers and fame. Food is not nourishment, it is ammunition. Piles of noodles cold and congealed now. Room smells of stale grease and shame. Cannot walk without feeling heavy gravity pull. Knees buckle under the immense, shifting weight. Vision blurs from the sugar spiking blood. Constant ringing in ears, high and sharp. Sweaty sheets cling to my massive form. Sleep is just a black, shapeless void. Wake up tired, reach for more food. The cycle grinds on, day after day. Comment section is a pit of vipers. They tell me to kill myself daily. I eat to spite them, punish myself. Swallow the hate with the cheesy fries. Stomach acid burns throat like liquid fire. Becoming the villain they all wanted to see. Wearing the mask of the gluttonous monster. Reality blurs with the performed manic madness. Forgot who I was before the first bite. The violin gathers dust in the corner. Fingers too swollen to press the strings. Music is gone, only chewing sounds remain. Silence of the house is deafening now. Isolated in a prison of my making. Friends are gone, pushed away by madness. Only the red light of recording matters. Sacrifice tomorrow for the attention of today. Body creates new folds to hide secrets. Fungus grows in the dark, damp creases. Scrubbing raw skin, but never feeling clean. Joints pop and grind with every movement. Getting up from chair is a battle. Floorboards creak under the unnatural, heavy burden. Walls close in, stained with food splatters. Watching old videos of a skinny ghost. That boy is dead, eaten by me. I am the grave of my potential. Vomit in the toilet, flush it down. Wipe mouth, hit record, start eating again. Smile for the thumbnail, eyes dead inside. Hold the burger up, make it look good. Bite down, feel the grease explode out. Audience cheers for the slow-motion suicide. I am their entertainment, their tragic clown. Dancing on the edge of a heart attack. Doctor warns of death, I just laugh. Content is king, health is just secondary. Upload the decay, monetize the suffering. Become the biggest thing on the screen. Literally occupying more space than a human. Humanity stripped away, layer by heavy layer. Reduced to a mouth and a stomach. Consuming the world before it consumes me. Buried under the weight of a persona. The character screams but the man weeps. Tears taste salty on the fried chicken. Nobody sees the panic behind the act. They think I am stupid, unaware, blind. They think I lost control of this. Maybe I did, somewhere along the line. Drowning in a sea of calories. Lungs struggling to expand against the pressure. Despair is a physical weight on chest. Looking at the comments, seeing the ants. Mindless insects following the scent of rot. They swarm, they bite, they feast on me. I give them the garbage they crave. Become the garbage man of the internet. Trash in, trash out, endless toxic cycle. Reflection in the window is a monster. Bloated face, eyes hidden by puffy cheeks. Hands look like inflated rubber gloves now. Smell of fast food permeates my pores. Sweat drips down back while sitting still. Exist only to consume and be consumed. A commodity of flesh and bad decisions. Sold my soul for a click rate. The devil wears a bib and smiles. Every meal brings me closer to darkness. Fear of death is dull, distant ache. Fear of irrelevance is the sharp knife. Must stay relevant, must stay the villain. Paint the clown face on every morning. Scream until the throat is raw red. Break things, throw food, make a mess. Chaos is the brand, destruction is product. Living inside a caricature of a human. Forgotten how to speak without shouting. Forgotten how to eat without gorging. Body is a cage, key is lost. Trapped in the timeline of the fat man. Looking for a way out, seeing none. Just another plate, another video, another day. Feed the algorithm, starve the human soul. Darkness creeping in from the peripheral vision. Numbness spreading through the extremities of limbs. Mind fog thickens with every sugary drink. Sharp pains shoot through the left arm. Ignore the warning signs, keep the camera rolling. The show must go on, no matter what. Audience demands the sacrifice of the body. I lay myself on the altar daily. Knife and fork are the ritual tools, slowly carving away the person I was, leaving only the husk, the shell, the meme. A viral infection in a human suit, spreading the sickness through the glowing screens, infecting the minds of the bored children, teaching them that self-destruction is funny, laughing all the way to the grave. But the grave is getting closer now. Shadow of the Reaper in the corner. He watches me eat, checking his watch, waiting for the final, fatal heartbeat. I am running out of time here. Need to change the script, flip table. But the weight is an anchor dragging down, sinking into the mattress, sinking into oblivion, staring at the ceiling, waiting for sleep, hoping to not wake up, fearing it. Nightmare continues when the eyes open wide. Same room, same body, same endless hunger. Reach for the phone, check the analytics. Numbers go up, hope goes down. Success is measured in pounds gained. Victory is a premature death by gluttony. This is the life I chose, apparently. Or the life that chose me, perhaps. No difference now, the trap is shut. Just a rat in a maze eating cheese, waiting for the experiment to finally end. But the ending is already written down. 2 years of lies stored on drives. The fat man is a dead ghost, living in a past that never dies. Current body is light, starving and sharp. Watching the internet consume the old rot. They feast on a corpse long gone. I am the villain they all wanted, playing the fool for their cheap entertainment. Waiting in the shadows, watching them feed, putting on the mask for one last time. The panda head stares back from mirror. Heavy rubber smells like sweat and plastic. Slide it over my face, hiding truth. Voice becomes deep, slow, and very deliberate, rehearsing the lines that break their minds. Always 2 steps ahead of the crowd, looking down at the ants from above. Tiny creatures lacking any real free will, doing exactly what I programmed them to do, consuming the garbage I fed to them. They think they are ruining my life, believing they are the ones in control, but the strings are in my hands. Silence falls over the empty white room. Camera lens is a black, unblinking eye. Red light blinks, recording the final act. Take a breath, the air feels cold. Speak the words that shatter the illusion. This has been the greatest social experiment. Observing the decay of the human mind. Feeding the algorithm with gross, yellow sludge. Watching the view count climb towards infinity. Laughter bubbling up inside the hollow chest. The character is dead, long live me. Disconnected from the meat suit on screen. Looking at the old footage with disgust. That mountain of lard was a prison. Escaped the cell while the guards slept. Nobody noticed the prisoner had walked out. They are still yelling at an empty cell. Screaming insults at a ghost on screen. Tomorrow everything changes for the little ants. Today is the day the internet breaks. Check the script, memorize the villain's speech. Everything must be perfect for the reveal. Adjust the lighting to cast long shadows, creating the atmosphere of a true nightmare. Yesterday was a lie, today is truth. Walking the parrot across the wooden floor. Bird screams, mimicking the chaos of before. Pat the feathers, silence the loud noise. Focus on the monologue, the grand design. Society is a broken, glitching video game. Players smashing buttons, achieving absolutely nothing meaningful. I broke the game by playing dirty. Used their hate as fuel for change. Converted their mockery into cold hard cash. Converted the cash into a new body. Staring at the mirror, recognizing the bones. Jawline sharp enough to cut the silence. Ribs visible through the thin fabric shirt. The weight of the world is gone. Simply walked away from the heavy burden. But the performance requires one last dance. Sit in the chair, the villain's throne. Mask on, world off, let us begin. Speak into the void, expecting no answer. Tell them they are ruined, not me. Tell them they are the true experiment. Poking the rats to see them bite. Wondering if they will ever wake up. Probably not, the sleep is too deep. The dopamine drip is too damn strong. I am the drug they are addicted to. Withdrawing the supply to watch them panic. The confusion will be delicious and sweet. Sweeter than the cake I used to eat. Metaphors of food still haunt the mind. Gluttony of attention, not just of fat. Starving for relevance in a dying world. Projecting the video onto the wall now. Watching the old self eat and cry. Tears were real, but the context false. Pain was real, but the purpose twisted. Sacrificed the body to prove a point. Nearly died to show them their nature. Was it worth the years of suffering? Look at the bank account, maybe yes. Look at the loose skin, maybe no. Surgery scars hide under the new clothes. Physical reminder of the heavy price paid. But the mind is sharper than ever. Honed by the hatred of millions online. Forged in the fire of comment sections. Ready to burn the whole circus down. Adjust the panda mask on my face. Suffocating heat trapped inside the rubber head. Looking through the mesh eyes at nothing. Camera recording the red light in darkness. Silence hangs heavy in the empty room. 2 years of lies stored on drives. Hard drives stacked like bricks of gold. Terabytes of gluttony archived for the future. Past self screams on the glowing monitor. Present self shivers in the cold air. Loose skin rubs against the new fabric. Ribs visible where fat rolls once hung. Bones press against the chair's hard back. The world thinks I am dying slowly. They comment on the impending heart attack. They calculate the date of my death. Meanwhile, I walk miles in the shadows, vanishing from the world while being watched. Ghosts of calories haunt the empty kitchen. Fridge is empty save for specific props. Yellow noodles waiting for the final scene. The parrot squawks in the distant cage. Only witness to the long con played. Check the script written in black ink. Memorize the lines about the ants below. They are ants roaming the digital hill. Mindless insects consuming the filth I serve. I am the magnifying glass burning them. Focusing the sun to scorch their backs. They follow the scent of the drama. Addicted to the spectacle of the fall. But the fall was a carefully constructed slide. Engineered descent into the pit of madness. I climbed out while they were watching. Ladder was hidden behind the wall of noise. Voice is steady, no shortness of breath. Lungs expand fully for the first time. Oxygen rushes into the blood without struggle. Heart beats slow, a rhythmic war drum. Preparing to execute the final checkmate move. Lift the heavy mask off the head. Sweat drips down the pale, thin face. Stare into the lens with cold eyes. Mirror reflects a stranger with sharp features. The fat man is dead and buried. Killed him while the audience cheered on. Murdered the clown to save the human. Put the mask back on for now. The reveal must be timed to perfection. Wait for the engagement metrics to peak. Let the rumors of death circulate wider. Feed the speculation with silence and reposts. Yesterday's feast is today's viral sensation. Digestion of the content is slow, painful. The internet is a stomach that never fills, pouring content into the void of screens. Watching the view count climb the charts. Numbers replace the calories in the ledger. Wealth accumulation, matching the weight reduction rate. Balance sheet healthy, body finally catching up. Sit down at the table with purpose. Place the plate of spicy noodles down. Steam rises, carrying the scent of spice. Red sauce stains the white ceramic bowl. Chopsticks rest heavy in the skeletal hand. Press record on the main camera now. Take a deep breath of the air. Begin the monologue practiced for 2 years. Speak to the ants in the dirt. Tell them they are ruined and lost. Tell them they consumed everything I gave. Accused me of losing control of myself, while I pulled every single string tight. Puppet master hiding in the plain sight. The experiment is concluding in this moment. Reality fractures as the mask comes off. Shock will ripple through the fiber cables. Jaws will drop in bedrooms across nations. Fingers will pause over the keyboards, frozen. The fat villain was a skinny ghost, haunting the algorithm from beyond the grave. Lift the noodles to the waiting mouth. Taste is familiar but the hunger gone. Eating is performance art, not a need. Chewing slowly to prolong the visual torture. Swallow the truth along with the carbs. Wipe the mouth with a clean napkin. Stare directly into the soul of viewers. You are the villains in this story. You are the ones who made this. Built the monster and fed it daily. Now the monster sheds its heavy skin. Reveals the man hiding underneath the blubber. Silence returns as the camera stops recording. Save the file with a trembling hand. Upload bar crawls across the bright screen. Destined to break the internet come morning. Leave the room and turn off lights. Darkness is a friend that kept secrets. Walk down the hallway, footsteps are silent. No heavy thud of the massive frame. Ghost in my own house, haunting myself. Sleep will come easy without the apnea. Dream of the chaos that tomorrow brings. The comments will be a river of fire, burning through the deception I built up. Wake up to a world changed forever. Or maybe nothing changes, just the shape. The shape of the clown is different, but the circus remains exactly the same. Wake from the dreamless sleep of exhaustion. Sunlight filters through the heavy blackout curtains. Dust motes dance in the stagnant air. Reach for the phone on the nightstand. Screen illuminates the dim room with glare. Notifications stack like bricks on the screen. The internet has finally lost its mind. Scroll through the comments with detached amusement. They are confused, angry, and completely betrayed. The ants are scrambling in the dirt. Remember the start of this long game. Flash back to the day of decision. Scale read 411 pounds. Breathing was a labor, living was pain. Saw the reflection of a dying clown. Decided to burn the circus to ash. The plan formed in the silent dark. 2 years of shadows and hidden starvation. Record the gluttony in a single month. Stockpile the footage like winter supplies. Feed the algorithm while I quietly vanish. Watching them consume the old, dead me, while the new me was born in silence. The hunger was a constant, sharp companion. Watching old videos of myself eating mountains. Salivating while chewing on dry, grilled chicken. The disconnect shattered my mind into pieces. Posting videos of excess while shedding weight. Comments called me fat, disgusting, and dying. They did not know they watched ghosts. The man on the screen was already dead. I was the necromancer puppeting his corpse. Shaved my head to mark the transition. The panda mask became my new face. Hiding the shrinking features from the world. Monitored the metrics like a hawk watches prey. Anger is the most potent engagement tool. Fed them the drama they craved deeply. Cried on camera while laughing off set. The villain role fitted like a glove. They needed a monster to point at. I gave them the greatest monster imaginable. 2 years of discipline in the dark. The weight melted off bone and muscle. Skin hung loose like an oversized suit. Feeling the cold for the first time. Bones protruding where blubber once sat thick. Waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The chessboard was set for checkmate. I moved pawns while they screamed loud. Only the parrot knew the real truth. Mr. Noodle watched me starve in silence. Pre-recorded gluttony, uploaded on a strict schedule. Past self-eating while present self fasted. Time distortion became my daily living reality. Comments mocked a ghost that didn't exist. They laughed at a man long gone. I was the architect of their disgust. Every insult fueled the grand master plan. The hunger pains were sharp and constant. Loose skin flapped against my rib cage. I uploaded the fat man's digital ghost. The algorithm fed them what they wanted. They consumed my destruction like hungry dogs. I sat in the dark and smiled. 2 steps ahead, I am always ahead. The social experiment was working too perfectly. Ants traveling blindly to the poison bait. They called me irrelevant, dying, and gross, while I ran miles on the treadmill. Sweat dripping down a much thinner face. The parrot screamed at the empty room. I paced the floorboards, light on feet. The heavy breathing was just an act. I crafted the narrative of absolute ruin. Viewers diagnosed me with every known disease. They predicted heart attacks within the month. I drank water and ate clean greens. The contrast was a sharp, hidden blade. My reflection became a stranger in mirrors. Cheekbones emerged from the buried layers of fat. Collarbones cut through the skin like knives. I touched the sharp edges of myself. The world saw bloat, I saw bone. Keeping the timeline straight required immense focus. Wearing the same shirt for 2 years. Maintaining the illusion of a continuous decline. The mental toll was heavier than fat. Living in the past while building future. I became a time traveler in stillness. The comments section was a toxic wasteland. They celebrated my inevitable and public death. I was reviving while they planned funerals. The ultimate trick on a global scale. I laughed until my ribs actually hurt. Not from joy, but from sheer madness. The isolation was a self-imposed prison cell. No one could know the secret project. Friends were kept at a calculated distance. Only the lens saw the real transformation. But the lens was capped in dark. I saved the reveal for the end. The suspense was a drug I abused, watching them dance on my digital grave. Little did they know, the grave empty. I was the one holding the shovel. Buried the old Nico in shallow ground. The smell of grilled cheese haunted dreams. I craved the poison I fed him. Resistance required a will of solid steel. Nights were cold, without the insulation layer, shivering under blankets in the heated room. The body fought to keep its reserves. I fought back with silence and discipline. The chess pieces moved exactly as planned. A villain is just a misunderstood hero, or a hero who stopped caring completely. I accepted the role of the antagonist. It was easier than being a human. Humans need pity, villains demand fear. I wanted their shock, not their sympathy. The script was written in my blood. 2 years is a long, long time. 700 days of holding my breath, waiting to exhale and blow them away. The silence in the house was deafening. The parrot imitated my old crying sounds. Hearing my own fake sobs was torture. I existed in a state of limbo. The fat man on screen was disgusting. I hated him more than they did. Destroying him became my only reason to live. Fasting sharpened my mind like a razor. The emptiness gave me clarity and focus. I watched the view count climb higher. Their hatred was the fuel for change. I converted their insults into caloric deficits, burning the bridges to my past life. The mask hid the hollow, sunken eyes. I was disappearing in plain sight daily. I prepared the speech for the finale, rehearsing the monologue in the empty mirror. I am always 2 steps ahead. The words tasted like sweet, cold victory. The panda head sat on the table, staring at me with its hollow eyes. It was time to become the monster. Not the fat one, but the mastermind. I set the camera for the reveal. The lights hummed with a nervous energy. This was the checkmate I waited for. I positioned the panda mask carefully. Darkness swallowed my head inside the shell. My breath echoed in the plastic skull. I pressed record with a shaking hand. The red light stared like an eye. I began the script I practiced endlessly. My voice dropped an octave, becoming serious. I told them about their consumer nature. Calling them ants was a precise description. They roam blindly, following the digital scent. I mocked their hunger for my destruction. They watched me kill myself for years, but I was the one holding the knife. I paced the room with slow steps. The monologue poured out like black tar. I spoke of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The timeline was mine to manipulate now. I was always 2 steps ahead of them. This was the greatest social experiment ever. Observing the unwell and disoriented human beings. They roamed the internet in search of stories, in search of conflict and cheap rivalries. They became the product of my influence, thirsty for distraction from their lackluster lives. I spoiled their minds and stimulated them. It was brilliant and it was dangerous. I monitored them like ants on a farm. One follows another in a mindless loop. It was mesmerizing to watch them consume. I am the villain because I chose it. The speech ended with a heavy silence. I reached up to the giant head, gripping the sides with my new strength. I lifted the mask off my shoulders. The studio lights hit my exposed face. No double chin hid my sharp jawline. My neck was slender and distinct now. The fat man was dead and buried. I looked into the lens with pride. 250 pounds were gone. I was half the man I was. The shock would shatter their fragile minds. I broke the tension with a smile. The villain persona dropped in a second. I introduced my bird to the camera. Mr. Noodle chirped on my bony finger. We acted like nothing had ever happened. The juxtaposition was sharp like a knife. I sat down for the victory meal. A giant bowl of spicy red noodles. The steam rose up into my face. I lifted the chopsticks with steady hands. The first bite burned my clean tongue. It tasted like success and bitter iron. I edited the footage with surgical precision, splicing the nightmare with the new reality. The render bar filled up very slowly. My heart hammered against my thin ribs. I clicked upload and waited for them. The internet stood still for a moment. Then the notifications exploded on my phone. Millions of views poured in like water. The comments section descended into absolute chaos. They could not believe their lying eyes. The villain had survived the suicide mission. They called it the greatest comeback ever. I read their confusion with cold detachment. The ants were scrambling in the dirt. I was the god they loved to hate.